Sometimes I get the feeling we have to scream to be heard. Everything is so loud in the world. So design, build, live your ultimate life. Is that picture loud enough?
Welcome to the show. Tired of the hype about living the dream? It's time for truth. This is the place for tools, power, and real talk so you can create the life you dream and deserve. Your ultimate life. Subscribe, share, create. You have infinite power.
Hi, this is Kellan, and it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek with this screaming font behind me because I want to communicate to you, my beloved listener, and thanks for listening. Really, thank you for being here with me, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't committed to adding good to the world and doing good things. And you don't need to shout like that. Sometimes I talk loud and noisy, and those that know me know that. But I want to make sure that there's a clear message today. And the clear message is you have a divine right if you want to take it. Nobody's going to force you, and no one's going to give it to you without effort. So divine right is sometimes a difficult word, because sometimes when we feel like we have a right, it's like everybody and everything's just supposed to get out of the way and let it happen automatically with no effort. So that's not what I mean. But you have the opportunity to design, build, and live your ultimate life. You do. You have that opportunity. No one is going to give it to you. What is going to be given to you is the action-reaction principle, the reaction that makes sense for the actions that you take. That's what the universe or the world or others will give to you. Let's take some examples. There's a phrase that says, "We teach people how to treat us." Well, we really do. If we act like we can be taken advantage of, we act like a doormat or something, guess what? People take advantage of us. If we act like we are arrogant, then people treat us like arrogant, like we're arrogant, because that's what we're acting like. If we act like a know-it-all, people will treat us accordingly. So we literally teach people how to treat us. If we act excited and engaged, then people treat us that way. If we listen deeply with love and attention, the reaction to that is people want to be around you, right? If you lie all the time, the reaction is people don't trust you. If you always tell the truth, the reaction to that set of actions is people know that whatever comes out of your mouth is real. And over time, people just know that you tell the truth, right? And an interesting thing also happens, and that is strangers that don't know you will believe you because your words and body language are congruent, right? They're exactly the same, and they're the body language of someone who is broadcasting truth. Truth has power. Lies have power, right? But we have a BS detector and we have a truth detector also. And so when someone's trying to convince us, or you're trying to convince somebody of something that you don't believe, it's not true, or that you don't really believe it, then we have to add energy, all kinds of words. Yeah, no, really, come on, no. And we add all this crap. And you notice it particularly in advertising. People talk too fast. They make outrageous claims, one after the other, duh, 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 duh. And the design is to not give you time to think, to say attractive things one after the other to pull you in. I just watched an ad today, just this morning before I recorded this, of someone advertising, marketing, internet marketing skills, viral this, that, and the other. And, the editing of the video was such that it was, every space was edited out. Oh, we do this, and we got this client, and this one, and did this one, and a million this, and a million that, and there's two reasons for that. One is our attention span has shrunk to nothing because we live in this soundbite world. And the other thing is it is designed to overwhelm you, me, anyone watching it, and to sort of hypnotize us and draw us in. Oh, that must be real. It must be true. I want it. I need it. I want it. I need it kind of feeling. And there's a poison energy about that. And that's even if the marketing method that they're teaching or the results that they're bragging about are absolutely true. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt for a minute. Pretend that's absolutely true. The need to say it that way, yeah, you got to get above the noise, and you got 3 seconds or 5 to get someone's attention. But it also then begins to feel like hype. And that hits our, jaded meter where it's like, yeah, another bunch of BS telling me all this stuff. And that's what it feels like because so much of it is. All right. So all of that happens, and it happens in marketing. It happens in relationships. It happens when people are trying to get you to believe or do something, even if it's not marketing to buy. It happens all the time. So what do we do? What do we do? Because you wouldn't be listening to a podcast on the ultimate life, your ultimate life. Like, you wouldn't be listening to this show if you didn't believe or yearn for the possibility of living that ultimate life. Like, you wouldn't be here if you didn't think you could or want that. So let's talk about what are the tools. What are the processes to get there? Because there's two parts to accomplishing any goal. The first part is some level of belief that you can get there, right? Some level of belief in the possibility. That's where we start. And then there are a set of actions that need to be taken to get anything. So if I'm going to learn to play the piano or record a new song in the studio, and I'm using examples of things that I do all the time, and you know that. Maybe you've seen one of the concerts. Hey, you know what? It's this is going to be released, I think, in August. So we're late in August now as this show gets released, and I'm going to start the concerts up again in September. So pay attention, because toward the end of September, the late middle end of September, I'm going to start concerts again. I'm going to do one a month like I did in the beginning of the year. I did one in February, March, April, May, and I skipped June, July, and August, and we're going to do one in September, October, November, and December. And they're message concerts, but they're concerts designed to have fun, and they're only an hour. And I'm asking you to come. Please come, because I know you'll enjoy it. Now, I'm not going to talk really fast and try to convince you. They're just songs and stories from life experiences that we all have, sometimes that are struggle and sometimes that are victory. But they're designed for us to share for an hour our common human experience. And that brings me to what I really want to talk about, because we talked about a level of belief. If you want to do something, like right this minute, you may be living exactly the perfect life. I don't know. But my guess is you're not. My guess is it's something or several things are still missing. Often what people come to talk to a coach about is business, happiness, relationships, money. Those are the big ones. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. I've had big success and made a boatload of cash, and I'm still empty. I heard a talk at a religious service the other day, and it was talking about King Solomon, a dude that lived, a couple thousand, I think maybe 4,000, 3,500 years ago or something. I don't know, like a long time ago. And analysis says that he was one of the richest people ever in history. Like there's 4 or 5 of those guys, and different lists put them in different orders. But Solomon, by all accounts, in terms of the amount of gold and palaces and things that he had, was one of the richest in history. And he lived this entire life of luxury and opulence for decades. And you know what he said at the end? It's all vanity. So he had everything that there ever could be to have, and he wasn't happy. The end. Sometimes life feels like that, doesn't it? So people come to a coach because they want to build their business, and they think they don't know how. They want to repair a relationship. Maybe it's with a significant other. Maybe it's with kids. Maybe it's with God. Maybe it's with themselves. Or, making more money, health, wealth, and happiness, that kind of thing. And there are other sub-reasons under all those. So if you're watching a podcast, and thank you for being here, about your ultimate life, then I'm going to talk about that and tell you how to have it. Now, I can't cover all the ways to have it in one episode, which is why we're on episode 1100 and whatever, right? But there's something that most people aren't doing that is available to you right now that will let you add good to the world. It will let you create an impact. People say, I want to help people. You can do that, and you can get paid. You can build a business, right? And at the same time, most folks are not using this particular tool. So remember, there's two parts to achieving any goal. First of all, you have to have some thought or belief that you can. Because without a thought of possibility, we don't start down a path. We just don't go there. We're afraid to, or we think it'll be too hard, or we just don't. So part of the resistance, maybe you don't believe you can create that ultimate life. I used to believe that. I used to believe I had lost my opportunity, that I might have been able to do it if I'd started sooner, or if I hadn't made so many mistakes, done so many things wrong, hurt people, failed relationships, failed as a dad in many ways, succeeded in others, but I tended to focus on the failures. And I tended to really, get wrapped up in those things. And it was wrapped up so big that I didn't feel like I could ever achieve happiness. I'd already screwed it up too bad. That may be true with you. And the first thing I want to say is it's not so. It is never too late. You can always change your mind. You can start in a new direction, and that can happen right here, right now. You just have to decide that you're going to go there. Now, this episode is not about the mindset piece. It's not about how to change that belief. We've had other episodes about that. Okay, and so you need to find those or get a hold of me. Now, if you want to talk, yourultimatelifepodcast.com, yourultimatelifepodcast.com, there's a contact form. I'd be happy to chat with you for three reasons. One, if you have a story you want to tell, I'd like to have you on the show. Two, if you want help reaching your ultimate life and you know you're ready to do the work, like the work is not easy and it is not trivial, but you can have it, then reach out to me. The third reason is if you have someone that you'd like to recommend to be on the show. So those are the three reasons to reach out. But anyway, so believing you can do this is important and first. The rest of today, I want to talk about one particular tool or method to create that life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. And that is to use the events and development in your own life to serve others. You already know there's a story in you, and we've talked a lot about it. You've already felt like a messenger. You already know the journey through your life has produced stuff that could serve. You know that. You know that in your heart. The problem isn't not knowing, it's postponing, putting it off. I'm not going to do it. Sometimes people postpone with research or busyness or fake humility or fear of exposure, fear of being seen, or they think they're preparing, or the timing isn't right, it's not my season, or confusion, I don't know where to start, or perfectionism, it'll never be good enough, or responsible sounding delay. When things slow down, I got this, all of that sort of thing, and 100 other versions of that. But I want to tell you, we talked about having a belief that you could have that ultimate life. And now this is the most important and best way to create it. And I say that boldly and clearly. It is the most important and best way to create it. I don't care what skill you've learned, physicist, rocket scientist, doctor, architect, those are all beautiful, and my hat and my heart is off to you. I know many people that serve so well in many ways like that, and that's beautiful, and it is still not their most powerful offering. The most powerful offering is to take the life journey that you have had, everything you have learned to do, which includes your skills, and most importantly, who you have learned to become because of your challenges and failures and successes. That journey of who you have become through all the valleys and sorrows and struggles, that's your most important gift. It's way more important than your medical skill or your writing skill or your physicist skill or your real estate skill or any other skill. The truth of the story of your becoming. Now, that promise is only true for those that are actually trying to add good to the world. The most powerful way to do it is to use the things that you have learned, the struggles you have overcome, the suffering you've been through, the forgiveness you've offered or been given, the healing, all of that stuff is the substance of your most powerful gift. So here's the thing. Postponement is like fear wearing, responsible clothes. You don't need more proof. You just need a decision. So here's the thing I want you to just take home. The story that you keep postponing is the door to the life you keep asking for. Hear that. The story of your life is the door to your ultimate life. And there's a very simple reason. Who you have become with all the struggles and valleys and triumphs and mountaintops and everything, that is the gift that you have that is the most powerful. And it's not hard to understand. It's the most powerful because it's what you've lived. Everything else we know is something we've learned how to do. But the victories achieved in becoming who we are, that's the mountain. That's the pot of gold. That's the El Dorado for each one of us. And that's why it's so beautiful, because every single one of us has a story that is completely different, not only because we're different, but our journey has been different, and the world needs every single one of them. Like the number of people that are saying, I'm in it to help others, is a tiny fraction of the people that there are. Most people never learn we are here on this earth to love and serve each other. That's why we're here. To learn to do that, to learn to love and serve. We're not here for any other reason. And that may sound bold, and you may think that, and you say, well, we have all these experiences. We do. We're here to have experiences and to feel what it's like to have a mortal body and to be in this frame. And all of the ways you say that, or I say it, are all true. And they all come together in using that truth to love and serve. So that's the foundation. Belief that you can, and this conversation is about reminding you that the most powerful way, make the most money, have the most fun, have the biggest impact. Most money, have the most fun, biggest impact. What did I say? Say it with me. Most money, most fun, have the biggest impact. And here's the reason you're not doing it. I'm not ready. I don't know enough. My story isn't special. I am so weary of hearing that. It's amazing. You just don't believe it. Or another version is that other people are better. I need more time. I'm not old enough. My story's not done. Well, your story ain't done till you breathe your last breath. Right now is the time. You are not too busy. I don't know where to start. Now, that's the only real one, and I can help you with that, okay? DreamBuildWriteIt.com. See that? DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Go there, sign up. It doesn't cost cash. It costs 5 hours. An hour a day, September 14 through 18. That's the next one. And if you see this later, go there anyway. DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Why? Because I do it twice a year. So I don't know where to start. We'll fix that right now. And then some people go to, I don't want to sound salesy and that kind of thing. None of that matters. The truth of your becoming isn't sales. It's service. It's love. It is doing what we are here to do. Or, I'll do it later. Not my time. Later is not neutral. Delay has a cost. In building business and marketing and everything, it's called an opportunity cost, and it's real and it's measurable. Every month you wait, your message, your most powerful gift to make money, make an impact, and have a joyful life, it stays scattered. Your authority stays weaker. I want you to have this picture. You, as the unicorn, powerful, infinite authority to serve and bless people in a certain way that is completely unique. The longer you delay, your income path stays delayed. The people that you could serve best are looking somewhere else. Your confidence erodes. Your calling gets quieter under the habit of delay. Delay is not empty. Delay compounds. Your story doesn't become clearer while you keep avoiding it. Well, I'm not done. I'm still working. That's the beauty. People love the story of growth. Confidence comes from construction, not contemplation. So here's what's really at stake. DreamBuildWriteIt.com is a doorway. It's a doorway into learning how to mine your life for that powerful story, how to write it into a book, and it's important to write the book. And the reason that it is people say, well, I don't need to write a book. I know the act of writing the book is the discipline to organize and clarify what you have. There's nothing like it. No amount of other anything will help you mine it, clarify it, and make it powerful than the discipline of writing a book. So, and it's not just about the book you could write. It is what happens afterwards, because the book just sits there. But the work in doing the book helps you clarify your processes, your skills, the principles that you've learned, the actual transformation that you have experienced that has brought you to a place where you say, I'm in it to help, to love and serve. I finally figured out who I am, what I'm here for, my purpose. There's nothing like the discipline of writing a book because it's a monologue and there's lots of reasons why it is so powerful. But it's not just about the book, because after that, it's about your identity. It's about service. It's about cash. So many people say, I'd love to make an income, a living, a good living, serving with what I am. I want you to hear that. Serving with what I am, not just what I know. And this is the way. It's about impact. It's about creating authority, not over people, but where people look to you because you are sharing the experience. It's also about following or being obedience to that call you already feel. You already feel that call, and you may be doing it some. This is your invitation to step up the game 10 times. And of course, it is using what life's already given you. The tragedy is not that you never become famous. The tragedy is that you never got to be useful the way your life prepared you to be. This is the spiritual edge, and I'm not talking religion. I'm talking the spiritual power that you feel or that you know others feel when we're talking from spirit, from soul to soul. If you know right now your story could serve and you keep burying it, that's not humility. It's refusal. It is the quiet death of a message because you postponed. Someday is where callings go to starve, right? Your life cannot become the authority platform you refuse to build. So this particular tool, now remember, there's a belief element and there's a tool. Now in the challenge, we actually talk about both, a belief element about believing that this can and will work for you, and then we talk about the practical tool. So here's who I built this for, and I've done this. I've written many books, you know that. I've taken books and turned them each into $100,000 annually. Okay? This is a repeatable thing, book to bank. $100,000 from your life story. But there's a process, and you have to do the work to get there because it isn't going to do itself. It's getting easier. AI and the different versions of that, Claude, ChatGPT, and all the rest, have facilitated this kind of work so that it's faster and easier than it's ever been. Okay, and one of the things we'll talk about is how to use tools, but I don't want to get too far from the core. The core is the belief element and then the process of mining your life and turning it into first a book and then products and services. But the products and services are easy. They're like falling off a chair. And the reason is because the work is organizing and defining your life. All right, so here's who this is for. This is for people who've lived something meaningful. Now, sometimes people say to me, I haven't had a near-death experience like you have, Kellan. I haven't been, I haven't been an addict. I haven't had this. I haven't, had all these terrible things, bankruptcy. I haven't had that. You don't need to. If you want to add good to the world right now, and you have lived a normal life, you are qualified. First of all, I don't know what the hell normal means. But if you feel like you've got a message inside of you, sometimes people say, well, I had this thing happen to me when I was 9, and ever since then that's it. Sometimes people say, well, I've never had any of this stuff, near death and addiction and depression and mental illness, and never had any of that, so I'm nothing. That's just not true. You just refuse to see it. So I'm inviting you to come find it. If you're a coach or a consultant, if you're a healer, if you're a leader, if you're a CEO, if you're a COO, a CFO, if you bear leadership responsibilities, this is for you. If you feel like you're a messenger of some kind, if you're an emerging author, these are tools. I've written 25 books and I've got 6 more planned and outlined. Not because I can't, because I have discovered the power of this truth. If you want the story of your life to become useful, meaningful, and serve, if you want to write a book that matters and changes the world, if you want a path to authority and income, this is for you. And if you are willing to be challenged, because you're going to have to do this differently than you think. Every person that goes through this realizes quickly, this challenge is the entry exam, as it were, to the school of transformational authorship and creation. And the word transformational is in there not as a cute buzzword because we're all talking about transformation. It's there because the author has to be changed first. And the reason's really simple. If that wasn't true, if that transformation had already taken place, you'd be all over this. You'd have already written it, created the product, services, and you'd be creating mid 6 or 7 figures income with your life story. If you haven't done that, then you have not been transformed enough by your own journey. And I'd like to show you how to do that. So if you're willing to be challenged and you're done waiting for some, ideal time or process, then it's for you. Now, I'll tell you who this challenge is not for. It's not for people who want magic without work. That ain't happening. It isn't a process where you wave a wand and some crap happens. If you're committed to hiding, it's not for you. Some people just want applause. That ain't for you. It's not for people who refuse ownership, deep ownership of their own life. It's not for people who hate service, who think service is some bad thing and it's all about WIIFM. What's in it for me? It ain't for you. It ain't for people that are looking for the shortcut. This isn't a hack. This is the most powerful journey you'll ever take. So if you're looking for a hack without real transformation, it ain't for you. Okay? And it's not for everyone. But that's why it works. It's for the powerful. If you want magic without work, stay away. But if your life has become the raw material for service, income, and impact, this is exactly your room. Okay? And so in this process, and however you do it, dream, build, write it. That's how I help people do it. And I'm inviting you with all my heart to check it out, dreambuildwriteit.com. However, even if you don't do that, here's what you need to build. Okay? You need to begin to see the story of your becoming. Like sometimes I say that and people don't even know, what is the story of my becoming? If you're a person right now who wants to help and wants to serve and wants to add good to the world, and you say, I want to help people and I really like to give back, and you say any of that stuff, that is the yearning, that is the genesis, that is the spark that lights this fire. And what you need to begin to see is the story of your becoming is really just, what is the path that I walk to get where I am? Because right now, you're in a unique place. You want to serve and you have a desire to add good to the world. And you want to get paid and you want to have income and impact, which is good because without the money, your impact is limited. It's tiny. It's small. And the reason is because we just don't have the resources to create the large-scale change. And we also have to do something else for work, whereas there's nothing wrong with, but it takes a lot of time. So if you're busy with another whole career and you have just a tiny bit of time to work on this, it'll take a long time. That's all. What you'll begin to see when you do this is you begin to see that the story or the journey of your becoming who you are as the person with this yearning and desire is gold. You'll begin to understand and it'll be so tangible for you, the gold that is hidden in that story. You'll also then begin to see what is your central message. I hear so many people, and I want you to hear this. I hear so many people say to me, I want to help people get out of their own way. Okay. And 200 other people just said that. The key is not, I want to help people get out of their own way, step into their power, be in their greatness and all those million cliche, silly things. How are you going to do that? Exactly. That's the magic that you have. That is your unicorn stuff. The method is going to be exactly the same as what you walked. Because if you borrow somebody else's method, you're finished because it ain't yours. So that the tools and method and, path that you used to get to your place is the tool that you have. It isn't some other skill, certification, or modality that you learned. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with 100 modalities. If you used them and they mattered to you, that then it belongs in your method and your message. When you think about this and start to do the work, you also see, okay, this is my unicorn stuff. And when we use generic language, like I just want to help people get out of their way, it's confusing. Nobody can feel that. When I use the word sovereign architect, and I told you this is great big on purpose for fun. When I use the word sovereign architect, sovereign means the authority, the king, the emperor, the empress, the queen, the one in charge. You are in charge of your life. Architect implies, just like it says, the designer. So you are the supreme designer of your life, and that's true, even no matter what happens around you. So I am the sovereign architect. I design and build and live my ultimate life every single day. I'm happy every day, morning to night, first breath to last. And that means even with this big cancer behind my ear and back surgery coming up and, all this stuff, I had a bout of AFib and I'm on medication and I had to have, all these tests and all that crap. I've got to go to the doctor later today to get this cancer thing looked at. They have chopped a bunch of the back of my ear off. Doesn't matter. And my point is, even with all of that happening, I live a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. I don't need anything. I love you like crazy. It's why I'm doing this. Because I want you to understand and own the truth that you can have everything you want. There's a path from where you stand to where you want to be. And the best way to walk it is to figure out and use the choices of the story of your becoming. Because that lets you find your central message. It lets you craft a monologue in a book. And the reason, again, I say that is because that's discipline. A monologue has to be crafted so people stay engaged or you finished, right? What else happens is you refine and define the audience. Like, who needs you most? Who needs what you have? There's a certain group. It's not everybody. If someone says to me, well, I can help everybody, you're full of crap. It also helps you begin to see the first real transformation in the path to your own authority. And it also lets you see really clearly, book to bank. How can I take this story and turn it into bank? 100K is the first goal. How can I do that? With my story, not some generic thing out there that somebody could do. Me, with my story, my skills, my learnings, you'll see that. Oh, I can do this and this and this, and it's all related to me, not some other thing. And that's why it is so powerful. It's not just a bunch of content. And that's if you choose to come to dreambuildwriteit.com. This is about the truth of your divine identity and your journey that you have taken. In this place, Dream, Build, Write It, it's not a room. It's a live, fire-breathing place to connect with the truth of your journey. It's direct. It's specific. It is not generic. You are not generic. You are powerful. You are live. You are direct. You are clear if you want to be. It's not an accident, but you do have to walk the path, okay? And if you choose to come to the Dream, Build, Write It, it's the beginning of your construction. So if you choose to do that, don't just register. Show up live, because the transformation, the first one, is in you. Now, I'm going to go back and talk about again why this is so important. You can't monetize fog, right? You've got to be clear about what you do, how you do it, and how you serve, and that comes right out of your life. But I ask so many people what they do, and the answers are all over the place, and they're all mush and generic nonsense. You can't serve powerfully with a message and a method you have never completely clarified. You can't do it. Okay, lack of clarity can't serve. It's mush. And it sounds like mush. Structure is what turns your calling into a movement. And, you have the ability to be a movement maker if you want to be. Some people don't want to do that. But if you really want to add good to the world, get paid, income, impact, and ultimate life, then you have to decide what your movement is. And it's not that hard because it comes right out of your life, even if you think, oh, it's not that interesting. Yes, it is interesting. I want to hear it. Okay? Dream, build, write it. It's time. Your love, your capability is contained in the story. And if you decide to come, bring the story, come to participate, show up live, be willing to tell the truth. And this is gold. I'm going to serve you a pot of gold. And I'm going to teach you the book to bank authority map so you can see how your story can become a book, authority platform, offer, income, gold, and all that sort of stuff. Your story, your journey isn't random. Your becoming is not meaningless. Even when we're not done, I'm not done. Your message is not optional. If you're feeling called to serve, and you are, you wouldn't be here. The story you keep postponing is the door. So I'm here with you talking about this because I love you. I care. I know. I talk to so many people. And this is what I ask. Tell me how you got where you are. You are successful. You are doing things. Tell me how you got here. And then I start hearing the events and the journey. And then I ask, have you written that? In a book? No. Yes, sometimes yes. Often no, not yet. I started. I've been working on it for a month, a year, and in some cases 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Isn't it time you gather the gold of your life, organize it, and live into the truth that you have become? I know you're a divine being. I know you've walked a powerful and unique path in your life. If you want to live your ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy, we are here to love and serve. The most strategic and powerful way that I know to do that is to clarify the learnings of your life, to create the book, which is the gospel of you, what you've learned, and then create your service and products from that. However you do it, please do it. I offer this dream, build, write it because I've done it a lot, and it's now one of my most important offerings to the world because guess what? It's a path I have lived. I love you. I believe in you. Nothing can keep you stuck where you are if you want to do the work and create your ultimate life.
Never hold back and you'll never ask why. Open your heart and this time around.
Right here, right now. Your opportunity for massive growth is right in front of you. Every episode gives you practical tips and practices that will change everything. If you want to know more, go to KellanFluckigerMedia.com. If you want more free tools, go here, YourUltimateLife.ca. Subscribe. Share.
Stand with your heart in the sky and your feet on the ground.